My name is Mary Painter, also known as Primary Painter. And this name is actually pretty fun in the end because within the word primary is my name, Mary, and primary colors are like the foundation for creating art and painting. So I find it really fitting that this name actually has some layers to it. And yeah, I feel extremely fortunate to have this name and put these two words together, and it actually fit my real legal name. Today is May 19th, 2025. I have a humble 141 followers on Instagram. I think that's a pretty humble start. How many Google results for Mary Painter? Oh my gosh. Actually, I don't even need to look on that right now. I already know that currently and historically, it has been filled with all due respect, it is with old ladies who have already passed. So it is filled with obituaries of past women named Mary Painter who look nothing like me, well, clearly are not me, but it's filled with people like that who I honestly don't really have any connection to. It's also some other people who like to paint and then their name happens to be Mary. So currently in terms of I guess internet searchability status, it's pretty hard to get Mary Painter me there at the top, which is why I thought Primary Painter would be good for kind of boosting my own name, but also making it kind of unique and kind of connecting them together. But I think if you look hard enough in the Google search, especially image search, you will eventually find me. So there's a nice little pop of me somewhere there. But I do hope in time that if you search my name, I will show up within the first page. I think the best bet is probably my Instagram right now and my artist website, which I'll put a plug here or here. And yeah, I hope to continue to work on that so people can find me easily and see my work easily instead of the more morbid answer. Most liked photo. Let's see. It's this one. It is. Oh, do I have it here? Oh, no, it's not here. So it is this photo here, and sitting at a very nice 56 likes, and it was one of the most important kind of artist social media posts that I had made because finally in 2024, just last year, I finally felt comfortable enough to merge all the different kind of styles or topics of art, subjects of art that I enjoy doing, and I have now just merged them under one identity, and it feels so good to claim it as my own. It's really important for me to make this post because it has been a really long journey with self-acceptance and the art that I make. For example, ever since I was a kid, I loved drawing. Before I even went to school or learned how to write, I was drawing pictures. And of course, many cool things inspire you as a kid, from the cartoons I would watch, the American cartoons or the Japanese anime that I also became a huge fan of, and also just regular daily life or any of my imaginative ideas, I would just draw them all. Of course, the era that I grew up in, people didn't quite understand anime so much, and there were some pretty negative stereotypes about it at the time, so it felt like for a long time I was battling these things where people had thought, oh, Mary can draw, but she just draws anime. So it just kind of kills whatever you had drawn, or whatever skill that you have. It immediately becomes lessened. And when you really think about it too, it's quite an insult, because not only to the individual who draws in that type of art style, but also an entire nation, an entire culture who has used that art form to express their own stories. So to belittle it, or say that it's not as amazing or technical as other forms of art, it's not the kindest of answers at all to say, especially to like a student artist or someone who's growing, or even an adult who likes to do it too. And so a part of me also was like, okay, well, I need to study all of my like technical things. And of course I really love architecture too. Just naturally I also really enjoy that and structures. So I was sitting at this point where it's like, okay, I love drawing anime, and I also love just technical building drawings from life, right? So drawing from life, and also like realism, representational things. And then of course just painting, just free painting, any kind of topic, any kind of subject. And so I'm sitting here with all these different types of identities, and I also really love to draw dark art as well. And that's probably one of the hardest ones to share as well, because I have all these different types of identities. And so when it comes to like marketing someone's type of art or fashion or style, of course the business way is always to say like, well, just make a category for this thing because that is totally different from this, right? So for years I was separating these different types of art, and I felt like I kept splitting myself into different sections, and I couldn't really overlap the other thing. So if I was really excited about one piece that I created, for example this piece here, if I wanted to share my architecture, then there might be able to be some crossover with the anime side, but it's extremely jarring for people who know just this architectural work to somehow suddenly accept the anime side. And when I kept noticing that type of dissonance, I felt like I wasn't really sharing myself as an artist. And so over the past years, I've been trying the past like 3 years to really try to get to the bottom of this and gather the courage to just put it all under me as my name. And finally I can say with confidence that all of this is mine. All of this that I have done, it is all me. They're all different sides of me, and I currently do not care about the marketing, how different they are. It's very personal for me to have it bundled under my name. If someone wants to fix the marketing for all of these different styles, by all means, please reach out to me and let me know what your strategy is. But for my personal self, this is very necessary for me to put all of these pieces together, and I feel really great and relieved that these are all the pieces that I do. I love anime stuff, and I also love fine art. I also love architecture. I love all of these things, and they are all me, and I will continue to make them as I like. So I feel really good having reached that conclusion, and feel it inside my heart that all of these pieces are brought back to me. And I'm glad that there are people who enjoy all of that, and they're just happy to see me make the things that I like, however varied they may be, and just to see me create. So I'm going to keep going forward. Maybe the next thing you see will be an architectural piece. Maybe it's going to be combining all of these things. That will be kind of the goal in the future, is to create so much that I find a way to mix all of this. It will be great. So stay tuned for that as I grow. And as each year goes, we'll see how this wall expands and if any of these things combine. But I thought it was very important to also document this moment of how all these pieces are made right now. And so that was very long, but I think that was very necessary for me to say. So thank you for hearing this part. Next question. Best like exhibition or event so far. I still have to say that my favorite and the best one was my 2023 solo exhibition. That was here in Japan. This exhibition was super special for me. So to give you some context on how this exhibition came to be, we first have to go backwards to explain what I was there for at first. The town that I was living in from 2019 to 2023, where the exhibition was held, I was working a job that was different from my art life. And I was doing all of my art on the side. Out of respect for the job that I was working at, and also to not create any friction, I kind of put my art down as like a hobby because I was working something else. And for the longest time, I had just accepted that it was just going to be labeled as a hobby. It's a talent or skill, but you're actually like this, which is the job I was working. So I brought my art materials with me to my office desk because there was some downtime in the office, and I started to lightly draw and paint. Actually, my co-worker who was sitting next to me, she noticed that I was painting, of course, next to her. Instead of being like, oh, like what? But she was actually very like curious and excited to see my work. And so we had a conversation. We were talking more about like our histories and how actually I really love art and I want to actually do art as my full-time job and identity in the future. And actually, this coworker, before coming to our job, they were working as a manager for musicians, for artists. And so they have all this history of managing and promoting, and that had taken a back seat while they were working at this stage in life. So after learning our backstories, my very dear coworker thought, let's make a solo exhibition for you. And I thought, is it really possible? And thanks to the hard work of people at the art museum and my co-worker, everyone in the town that had helped make solo exhibition happened. And it happened right when I finished my job, and so contract things I was clear for, and it was also before I moved away from the town, so it was such a wonderful memory, and I felt so free and so happy that I could share who I truly was with everyone there. And I showed like my magazine editorial things that I had developed during my years there, and I had shown some of my illustrations as well, and I also had shown some illustrations of the town and region that I had lived in. And it was such a wonderful memory, and so many people came to that event and came with really kind words and like laughs and experiences. We had a Q&A and everything, and we also had a musical performance too, which was so wonderful and brought tears to my eyes. I cried so much that day, but so many happy tears, and I was just so thankful for that experience. And so it's one of like the happiest memories of my life, and just thinking about it now. Yeah, so it was one of my favorite memories ever, not just as an artist, but also for life. Yanagisako-san, if you're out here watching this, thank you so much! And thank you to everyone again for that team who helped make it happen. That was definitely the best. How often do you get recognized in public? Well, currently I'm living in the city here in Japan, so I can safely say that I should be unrecognized in public here. And I can say that from 2019 to 2023, when I was living in the countryside town, I was noticed everywhere. It was a little bit of a shock at first, but it was something that I was kind of prepared for because it was a small town, and part of my job was to facilitate communication between everyone and like grassroots internationalization. So I think I took it in stride, and I've met extremely wonderful people through just being open to anyone who approached me. Of course, everyone was friendly there in that town. Even if I was internally shocked a few times, I think by being open, it literally opened a lot of doors and conversation with really unique, great people. So I think it was fine for that time. Now, if people will truly recognize me for my art, that's another story. We'll have to see. I think right now we can safely say that I can tread anywhere, just blend in with the crowd, and that kind of works to my advantage currently because I can study buildings or explore different streets, and I'm typically unbothered. I'll take this as a good point to enjoy the peace right now. What advice would I give to myself a year from now? Good question. To give my answer more context, last year in 2024, it was so go, 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 go that I barely had any time to make any art. That habit fell out of the routine. This year in 2025, I've made it my goal to just get the habit back, get back in the habit of creating, and it feels so good. So if I can keep up this momentum, I would say to myself a year from now, like, just keep up the habit of creating, just keep going, don't lose it. Also, never lose the joy and curiosity about the world, I think. Just keep an open mind and try to explore new things and learn from other people, talk to different people, and travel to different places, even just like locally somewhere. Even if life gets super busy, future Mary, keep creating, just do it. Have fun with it, make it fun. Now we're going back a year? Okay. Alright, so advice from a year ago. I think very past me was definitely in the shoulda, woulda, coulda type of mindset, but that is definitely not the type of person I am now, because I just don't look at the past like that anymore. Give advice to a time that has already passed, I feel, is a little strange, but it can also help frame the future. So yeah, let's think about it a little bit. 2024 Mary was so go, go, go. That's why this question is so hard, because I think she really had to do what she had to do. She had to sadly push art to the side, and she had to focus on very real life things to do. For example, like working really hard at the job she just got. That was extremely important, and I moved off of Owajishima all the way to Kansai area. My workplace had 2 branches, so I had to commute from these different places, and I also had to find temporary housing, and then after that I had to find a new apartment and do all of that through the Japanese system, all still while trying to, work hard and do my best and show that I cared about the company, and trying to somehow manage my health at the same time, which was also crazy because I had gotten the coronavirus for the first time since that event started. So that hit me pretty hard too. So I think, past Mary really just had to focus on like living day to day and trying to keep that health up, try to keep everything for real life steady. That's why I don't think I could give her any other advice, because she had to do what she had to do. It's hard. I would not make my past self try to force her to do more art when she was already managing like 6 or 7 things at once. There was just not enough room. I think other people could try to argue, say like, you could find time for it. But especially with eventually trying to get to the point of bringing all these identities together, there was like a majority of the year where this was not put together yet. So how could someone say so easily, get back into art so easily, when I was dealing with trying to put all these identities together too, and I fell out of the habit. So I'm not going to like hound 2024 Mary for not drawing so much. Is there anything light that I could say to this question? I got it. It's my journal. Hold on, let me get it. So, I've had these journals ever since I moved here to Japan. This one says 2020 to 2022, but I actually had bought it in 2019 and I was writing in it for 2019. So the goal was to write an entry about my day every single day. And I've been here for 6 years now. So, so that journal was finished, but guess what? This one, the 5-year journal, which is from 2022 to 2026, 2024, is this big blank. I was so good about writing in my journal every day since moving to this really wonderful country. And I cannot believe that I was so go about things that I just didn't write in journal. So now there's a huge hole. And so it goes like 2022, completely written, 2023, completely written, 2024, huge gaps. So I think if I could give any advice to my past self from 2024, I would say, even if you are super tired, try to write down how you're feeling that day, and it will inform you of future decisions, and also just kind of give yourself a good marker for what happened in that day and time. Like, it feels like a blur. 2024 felt like a blur to me because it literally was. There were so many things I had to take care of, and so much commuting by trains, which I love trains. I love them so much, but it was hard back to back doing all that commuting for a full-time job. And I'm sad that I don't have exact records of what I was feeling in 2024. So, I think that's my answer. Write in your journal, folks, if you have one. If you don't have one, I recommend, because it's a great marker for recording your life. Alright, next question. What artist inspires you most? Easy. Ishida Sui, the creator of Tokyo Ghoul, Tokyo Ghoul Re. I've been their fan since like forever. Their art has evolved over time. Their art takes on this beautiful quality where it's painterly, but it's also manga, anime-esque. And it is just another level. I feel like every manga panel they have, every illustration, it could easily be turned into a painting. And, well, now that you guys know what I'm trying to do, partially experiment with my art, I feel like Ishida Sui's art is just magnificent. The biggest thing to happen in my career so far, I think it was that art exhibition in 2023. How about now? Oh yeah, for 2025, I have another gallery space this year. So it'll be happening in August here in the Kansai area instead of Kyushu. Finally, we have another gallery space. Yahoo! I'm very excited. What's your favorite movie? Hands down, Atonement. I read the book, I loved the book, and I watched the movie. It was the first movie that actually made me bawl my eyes out. So, because that movie had moved me so much, I thought, yes, this shall be the one. That'll be my favorite. It's the only one that can actually get me to feel so sad in that way. So I think I'm particularly interested in movies that literally move you, like give you a visceral reaction to things. I think at the time some people were definitely divided by this movie and the novel, but no, I'm a forever fan. I love the soundtrack, I love the visual storytelling, I love the novel descriptions, I love the tragedy. It's perfect for me. So no one's gonna change my mind. I love it. You can ask me this 10 years later, it's still gonna be my favorite movie, I'm sure. I have always felt pressure, ever since I was young. So it is nothing new to me. I have actually gotten pretty sick because of how much pressure I felt. And as an adult now, I think I have better strategies at handling it. As an artist, I feel that social media has created even more unique pressures now. There's a new layer to art creation now where if you are connected to social media, there's a pressure to have it perform well. So it doesn't matter how long you worked on that art, how it personally fulfills you, you now have to worry about the performance it does in this digital space. And for different kind of communities and like marketing and businesses and stuff, that number is really important in how people can respect you online and so on. So I feel like there's a new pressure to navigate through. I think that's something that's always going to have to be dealt with in the future now. Are you handling it well? That's such a good question. Oh my gosh, me from like a few years ago, definitely not. I was definitely feeling really saddened all the time whenever I worked really hard on a piece and it didn't get any like retweets or likes on Instagram or things. I feel like I've always had such a hard time battling and breaking through the algorithms on social media. I mean, even today, you can see it. I also approach social media with kind of a sense of wariness, just because the apps, websites keep changing. For example, I had Tumblr, and that was my most popular thing with the most followers that I've had, actions, notes, likes, reposts, and so on, and messages. That had to change, and people were just moving to different platforms. So all that work I had invested in that account disappeared over time, right? And so to start over again for like Twitter or for Instagram and so on, this kind of race and this feeling that we can't guarantee which social media will stay, kind of gives me like a healthy distance from the social media now. Like, it's important to use it, but also I cannot over invest like my own personal self into these things, because who knows, it might become another Tumblr and people won't even know all the progress that was made there. I've taken these past few years to develop better strategies in handling such things, so I'm not so much affected by social media anymore. I do realize its importance, but I try to not let it define me or my work or my worth. And I think that's the biggest thing for artists too, is that numbers and reactions are really connected to our self-value. So to separate that, I think, is a very healthy thing to do. So that's why I also think that I really value like in-person communication, tabling, gallery spaces, because I'm meeting people face-to-face. People are seeing my work in the physical realm as well. I think those connections can truly quite last and create an impact on people in reality. The best way is probably to pair both of these things together, which I'll be working on. Dream collaboration? Easy! Ishida Sui! Come on! No, I'm kidding. What happened? That's literally a dream come true. Oh my gosh. That would be amazing. Also, the musician Otto, I think she's a fantastic powerhouse singer. I would feel so honored if I could make an illustration for her or for some of the songs that she makes or something like that. Country you'd love to visit? Oh man, I'm in my dream country right now. The most beautiful countries in the world, Japan. The world is so huge, so another country I'd love to visit would probably be Italy, because it is of such importance to the art world. It's art, architecture, it's history. I really want to see Italy with my own eyes and study some of the works there, or just do some live sketching there. Oh, there is so much to learn and observe from Italy. I really want to make it happen one day. Favorite artist at the moment? Oh my gosh. Definitely Fujimoto Tatsuki. No, my favorite cup. Easy. Red. It's not gonna change. You ask me that every year too, it'll still be red. My style in 3 words. I would say dark, elegant, and possibly colorful. Oh, let's go with that. How would you define it? Oh, asking about the art world, that's a big question. Especially since, for my history, I've been pulled in different ways. There's the fine art world, there's commercial art, things that I've done for like conventions and doujinshi and so on, comics. So I feel like these forms of art all have their own type of industry rules, things that they're looking for. But I think one thing that unites all fields, really the rise of AI, I think that is affecting all industries right now. And so even though it feels very dark that people are taking other people's works uncredited and so on, I do feel a little bit of hope, at least for my case, because I'm thankful that I can create work through traditional means. For example, through real painting, oil paints that you can physically, hold a brush to and paint on a canvas. So really enjoy traditional inks. So I think if necessary, I can produce my own original work on the spot, one of a kind, and you can see that in a physical space. I think I'll continue to use that as a guiding light in the future to feel more positive about the situation, while like formal laws and digital technologies kind of work itself out. So it feels dark, but also a little hopeful at the same time. What's your philosophy? You only have one life. This isn't to say go crazy, but for me it means you only have one chance. So if you want to do something, work on it today. Start planning for it today. I think the world is changing at a rapid pace, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So while we do have a little bit of control, why not do the things that you can do in that one life that you have? I think that's what's helping push my creative projects as well. I only have one life to do it, so it's not going to magically come out of nowhere. I have to sit down and draw it. So let's draw. Best approach, huh? I'd say just showing up to do it. Creative people can get into their own head a lot and kind of prevent themselves from creating their work, me included. So that's why I think if you just show up, and however small that might be, no pressure to create like a full piece in one go. If it happens, awesome, but I think the most important thing is to show up and try to make it a habit. So I will continue to follow my own advice as well. How do you feel about your latest piece? Okay, so let me see here. This time of recording, this was my latest piece. So it is another one of my architectural works. This is in my architectural sketchbook. It is a combination of watercolor, colored pencil, and traditional inks. It was just a place that I had found while I was living on Awajishima. It's a city with a more countryside, suburban feel. And I had just seen this really clean building, and with just a little hint of the organic plant stuff here. And how do I feel about this latest piece? I think it's quite a little cute one. It's a little more simple compared to the really detailed ones I have, like here, or other architectural ones, like especially this one here, or my digital pieces, and this is another watercolor piece here. So I think it was nice to kind of change it up and just have this piece here. What's your biggest regret? And the person I am now doesn't dwell so much on the past. If I have to tap into it for the question, perhaps it would be disappointing my past self. The me who thought I would create more work by now. The skill set that she thought she would have by now. But the me now is back in the habit of drawing, creating, video editing, getting my work out there. I think my past self would be happier now, being like, all right, she's back on it, she's doing it, she's not giving up. Then I think that's most important for me, is that I'm not giving up and I'm going to keep going. Lowest point, huh? Well, if we're going from May 2024 to May 2025 for this video, then I think it was definitely like the summer of May 2024, because in the earlier questions I had mentioned that I had gotten sick for the first time during the summer, and I also had to work really hard at my job at that time, and these things left no room to create any art successfully or learn anything new at that time, because I was just focusing on like survival. So I think that was the lowest point, because it was such a sad time because I couldn't do any of the things that I loved. I just had to like work and eat and recover, like the bare minimum for life. So I'm so thankful to be healthier now, and again, just back on the nice art grind habit thing. Biggest hit, oh my gosh, among all these pieces, Oh man, I definitely think this watercolor piece here is extremely popular, especially in person. And this art of Clive Rossfield that I did, I'm also particularly proud of this one. And these are pretty strong contenders. Also from my Tokyo Ghoul days too. These always get sold out at conventions. This one, and of course my Eren piece from Attack on Titan. Yeah, this one is a mixed play on Liechtenstein and Attack on Titan together. So if you watch the series, maybe this will resonate with you. It'll make sense. But our crybaby Eren at that time. He is not a crybaby anymore, but at that time when I made this, he definitely was. I think these other art pieces are very strong too. So I'm just putting up some of my recent favorites up here. So I think all of them are very precious to me. I think some of them are definitely more noticed by other groups than some other pieces. And that's totally fine too, because they're all getting their time in the limelight right now. What's the biggest thing you've learned for art? Well, I've learned many things, so to narrow it down to the biggest thing is how I feel in 2025. It's carving out time for yourself to make art is extremely important, and pairing that, so I'm going to connect it so it still counts as one, and psychologically to not get in your own way and letting yourself just start your habit again and keep going with your piece is very important. So I think for me it's good that I got that back this year after a crazy 2024. So I want to continue doing that. Anything else? Oh, well, I'm really thankful to have this chance to do this interview here. My intent for this video interview series is to kind of mark my progress as an artist and my artistic journey over the course of the next years into the future. And I also wanted to mark this unique place in time where I was from the countryside and had an art show, art exhibition, and the year from May 2024 to May 2025. I think in the end it can be like a fun series where both you and I can see this progress. Will these art dreams go anywhere? How many years will it take? Does it take off? When does it take off? How long does it take off? Who knows? But either way, there's now a record of this process and this journey through it all. So I'm very thankful for you clicking on this video, watching this far. After this interview, it'll be all about painting, sketching, drawing, illustrating, working on my original story as manga. Please look forward to news about that. Video editing as well, streaming on Twitch, my games and my art. I'm gonna go full creative mode. And in August, I have some new stuff coming up, so I will have another gallery space. This time it is here in Hyogo Prefecture. Thank you again for being here for the interview. It was great fun. Some of these questions really made me think, and I'm looking forward to doing this again in 2026 and seeing if any of my answers change or there are different news events to talk about in the future. For your consideration, I have an Instagram. I'm at here, and my artist website is here, and I will continue to try to find great spaces to share my work. Primary painter, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you next year for this next video in the series. Thank you.